Hi, welcome to yoga. My name is Jody Decker and I'm recording this video tonight for the York County Library in South Carolina. Tonight's practice is yoga for evening. This is a calming sequence focusing on controlling our breath. If you have a block or maybe a rolled up towel handy, extra padding for your knees, we'll be spending most of the time on our mats today. And then some sort of a strap or even a belt or a tie would work. Let's sit up nice and tall, coming to a comfortable position, placing our hands on the lower part of the belly, just underneath the navel, closing our eyes, bringing our awareness to the breath. Begin to inhale fully and deeply through the nose, and exhale completely through the nose. Full, calming, cleansing breaths. Each inhale, expanding and filling the belly with air. Each exhale, belly softening, moving back in. When we're confident that our breath is deep and long, maintaining that deep belly breath, place the hands wherever you're comfortable. Inhale, just a little more length into the spine. Exhaling, left ear over towards the shoulder. Inhaling our way back to center. Exhaling, other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn the nose to look over the left shoulder. Release, center. Inhale to the other side. Exhale, center, release, chin to the chest. Come back up to center. Hands gently resting on our collarbones. As we pull down, we lift the chin to the sky. Slowly release our way back to neutral and begin to shoulder roll up, down, and back. Big shoulder rolls. On our next roll, let's leave the shoulder blades down and back so they're reaching down towards our back pockets. Notice how that creates more space between the ears and the shoulders, opening up the front of the chest, creating better posture. Inhale, left palm up and behind the head, lining our nose up with our elbow, and then gently draw the nose down to look at the hip. So we're looking down at a 45-degree angle, feeling the stretch in the back right side of the neck, focusing on our levator muscle. Gently release. And inhale, opposite palm up and back. Coming behind the head, nose in line with the elbow. Gently drawing our nose towards the hip. Slowly release our way back to neutral. And let's take a few deep breaths in. Inhaling, reaching high. Exhaling. On our next inhale, interlace your fingertips together at the top, pressing the palms up, reaching high and over to our left. Inhale, center, and exhale, other side. Inhale, back to center. This time, exhale, palms come out in front, really rounding through the upper back. Press the shoulder blades wide apart, drop the chin to the chest. Inhale our way back upright, exhaling into a slight back bend. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, release the left palm down, and let's begin our side lateral flow. Each inhale takes us long, reaching up to the center. Our exhale moves us to the other side. The next time our left palm is down, let's pause and hold the side stretch, maybe releasing the forearm a little bit closer to the mat. Draw the shoulder back and down, gaze comes up. And with our next inhale, slowly lift all the way up. Exhale, splitting the arms, moving into our first spinal twist. So our left palm's on the thigh, right palm is on the mat behind us. Each inhale takes us up a little bit taller. Our exhale moves us a little bit deeper into the twist. Inhaling length. Exhale, taking our twist a little bit deeper. One more deep breath in. Exhaling our way into the twist as deep as we comfortably can. And with our next exhale, slowly unwind, keeping the right palm anchored where it is, moving into an anchored side stretch. Slowly make our way all the way out in front to a forward fold. If we're really tight in the low back or the hips, maybe it's more of a forward hinge, that's fine. If you have a couple blocks, you're welcome to stack them or maybe just rest the forearms on top of a block. You can even use this as support for the head and neck. Using your next inhale, draw yourself back upright, moving the hands behind our hips and then opening up and countering the fold. Chin lifts high, shoulder blades come back and down. Expand through the chest. Slowly release your way back to center. Extend the legs in staff pose. Shake them out, and then we're going to recross the legs, this time taking the opposite leg in front. Inhaling length, repeating everything, evening it out. Exhaling our way from side to side. The next time our right palm is down, let's go ahead and hold the side, drawing the forearm a little bit closer to your mat. Shoulder coming back, gaze turning up. Inhaling length, exhale, making our way into our spinal twist, other direction. So once again, inhaling length into the spine, exhale, twisting. Inhale, lengthening, exhale, twisting. Using our next exhale to begin to unwind, leaving the right palm anchored where it is, moving into an anchored side stretch. And then slowly releasing our way out into our forward fold, which could look very different on this side. One side's generally a little bit tighter than the other. So if this is your tighter side, not forcing it, knowing your limits, listening to your end point. With our next inhale, begin to slowly make your way back upright, countering our fold one last time. And then slowly release your way upright. And let's make our way onto our hands and knees. So coming onto all fours, you can grab your pad if you need a little bit of extra padding underneath the knees. And let's line up so that our hips are on top of the knees and then our shoulders are right above the wrist. And if this bothers your wrist, maybe you want to stack the joints and make a fist for a wrist like this. We're going to inhale, drop the belly down, turn the gaze up, cat-cow, and then we're going to exhale, tuck the tailbone and begin to round. slowly making our way back and forth. No hurry to get anywhere, taking your time. Let's do one more in each direction. And as we make our way back into our neutral spine, think about re-engaging the core, so pulling the navel up and in towards your spine. Side lateral flexion, so we inhale, peek over the shoulder. Exhale, release center. Inhale, other side. So we're looking over the shoulder, squeezing the hip in, and then releasing back to center. So we're trying to squeeze and contract one side as we gently lengthen and stretch through the other. So it's almost like we're wagging a tail behind us. Let's do one more to each side. After you've ended on the opposite side that you started on, take the knees a little bit wider and release into child's pose. Walking our hands over to the right side of the mat, let's press the left hip to the outer edge, opening up our side body here. Inhale your way back to center and exhale our way to the other side. Come back to center, turn the toes under, have a seat on your heels. Now this can be a very deep heel stretch and into the toes when you turn your toes under. So if that doesn't feel good, come into any comfortable seated position. We can also take the block underneath the hips, which is going to take some of the pressure off the knees. So we're going to inhale, extend the right arm up, exhale, bend, and then interlace the fingertips together. So if you can't reach, go ahead and use your strap to close the distance. Fighting for good posture, we want to be sitting up nice and tall. On your next exhale, release and take 3 big shoulder rolls to the back. Continuing to sit like this if it's comfortable. If not, changing your position, inhaling the opposite arm up, exhale, bend, using the strap on the opposite side if you need to. Sitting tall, really lifting the chest, breathing into the stretch. This is cow's face arms. Great shoulder opener, especially on the anterior part of our shoulder, the front part of our shoulder. Exhale, release. 3 big shoulder rolls to the back. We're going to focus on opening up the back part of the shoulder. So making your way back into tabletop. Let's inhale the left palm high. So we're opening up into a spinal twist. Holding here for just another breath. Exhaling, bend the elbow, and then thread the needle. So we want to come all the way down to the mat if you can. If that doesn't work, maybe you close the distance with your block and rest your head on the block. That's an option. Whatever option you choose, try to create some space between the ear and the shoulder. And if you want to take the stretch a little deeper, walk the fingertips to the top of the mat, or you can reach tall, or you can create a bind looking for your back pocket. When we exhale, really allow yourself to release so that we're sinking or melting into the mat. One more deep breath in. And on our next exhale, begin to unwind, opening back up. Releasing both hands down, all fours. And let's take 3 cat-cows. Flexing and extending the spine. Once you've completed 3, go ahead and move the left palm directly underneath the nose. Inhale, right fingertips high, pausing here for a couple of deep breaths. Using your next exhale to bend the elbow, thread the needle coming all the way through, creating a space again between the ear and the shoulder, then deciding if you want to walk the fingertips forward, if you want to reach tall, or find the bind. Exhaling, unwind, opening up one more time. And slowly release. Lining our thumbs up so they're 4 to 6 inches apart. Let's turn the toes under, coming into downward facing dog. We're going to begin to bicycle out the heels, bending one knee at a time. So we're just bending one knee here. This is as close as we get to standing in our practice tonight. Bending our knees and then sinking our hips to our heels, releasing back into child's pose, and hold here in child's pose for 3 deep breaths. From child's pose, we're going to slowly make our way into a seated position. We're going to start by lining up our right knee at a 90-degree angle. So we want the shin parallel with the top of the mat. We'll take the opposite heel and place it right on top. So we're moving into double pigeon. This is a tough pose. Most of us are very tight in the hips, and this is a little different than our traditional pigeon, so you might feel it even more. So if your legs aren't perfectly resting on top of one another and you have a gap, it might feel good to close the gap with a block or a rolled up towel. For some of us, we feel it plenty just sitting here in this position, but if you need more, hinge from the hips, lead with the chest, and make your way into whatever form of a forward fold you would like. Back upright. Go ahead and help the top leg off, extend, release the bottom leg, shake it out, coming into staff pose, inhaling our arms up and over, exhale, hinge from your hips, forward fold. If you have your belt or your tie or your strap handy, you can help with the forward fold. Inhaling our way back upright. And this time we're going to take the opposite leg at a 90-degree angle. So this should be your left leg, shin parallel to the top of the mat. So it's very important that we set up correctly. Knee underneath the heel, knee on top of the heel. So instead of looking like this, we're stacking the shins like this. And if we look down in the lap, you'll see a perfect little triangle. So sometimes we have the error of pulling this heel in too close. If you pull it out and place it directly under the knee, you're going to feel that more. Remember, you can close it off if you'd like to. This could be enough just sitting up nice and tall. But if you need more, begin to hinge forward any amount. Pausing and acknowledging your breath here. Being mindful of our deep belly breathing. Hopefully that hasn't changed throughout the entire practice. If you notice that your breath is becoming more shallow, it could indicate that you're going too far into the pose for today. With your next inhale, begin to make your way back upright. Help yourself out of the pose, lifting one leg and then the other, shaking our legs out. And this time, taking the hands behind the hips to counter the fold, release into an extension. And then we're going to slowly tuck the tailbones under, making our way onto our forearms, and then slowly rolling all the way down onto our backs. Make sure all of your props are still in reach. So both the strap, the block are both nearby. We're gonna come all the way down onto our backs, and we're gonna start by using the block, placing it here between the inner thighs, probably widthwise. Knees are gonna stay stacked right on top of your heels, and we're gonna inhale up into a shoulder bridge, sending our hips to the sky, engaging our glutes and our core, and then exhale, slowly release. If you want, you can add arms. Inhale, lifting up and over. Exhale, lowering. So we're using the block just to get a little extra work for the inner thigh. We're squeezing the block, firing our adductors. Maybe you can challenge yourself to come up a little bit higher with each repetition. And on this next breath, hold here 2 full cycles of breath when the hips lift as high as you can. And then we'll exhale, slowly lower our way back down. Remove the block, and then go ahead and slide it underneath the tailbone on the lowest level for a restorative bridge. So this is a very passive restorative pose. It's a slight inversion, so it's helping promote circulation and bring fresh oxygen-rich blood back to the brain. Let's take one more deep breath in. On our exhale, slowly release, setting the block to the side, reaching for your strap or your tie, and taking this over the middle of the right foot. Notice my left knee is bent. For those of us who have tight backs or any type of low back issues, go ahead and keep the knee bent today. If your back's feeling healthy and you want to try to lengthen the leg, that's fine. Just make sure your foot's flexed straight up. And we're going to continue to pull this in with our shoulders relaxed to the mat, opening up the back side of the leg, feeling it through the hamstring, maybe even a little higher into the calf. Moving the strap into the right hand, let's begin to open it out to the side. Pausing when you feel the mild tension through the inner thigh, the adductor. Using this time to really connect with your breath. Full cleansing breaths. Inhaling back to the center. Exhale 2 or 3 inches across your body. So we're not moving into a twist, we're just moving to the point where we feel the hip and the outer thigh IT band opening up. If you're ready to move into a full twist, let's extend the right arm out to the side and then release this leg over any amount, whatever feels good. Gaze can stay neutral, looking straight up, or you can look away from the leg, making the twist just a little bit deeper. Let's inhale, bringing the leg back to center. Exhaling, opposite leg through. And maybe taking a moment here with the knee bent and just assess how this feels on our low back. If you're feeling pretty open and you want to extend the leg, just make sure you flex your foot. That means the big toe points straight up to the ceiling or the sky. Maybe you're outside practicing. Begin to open the leg all the way out to the left, any amount. Looking for that point where you feel a very mild tension through the inner thigh. again, let's inhale our way back to center. Exhaling across the body, just 2 inches or so. If you're ready to move into a full twist, extending the left arm out this time, releasing all the way over into a spinal twist. Breathing and pausing here. And slowly bring yourself back to center. Release the strap and just cross the right ankle over the left. So we're looking for a figure 4 position. The foot's flexed. We're gonna reach through the legs, hugging this left thigh into our chest. Upper body nice and relaxed. Last hip opener. Slowly releasing the leg, setting it back down. Let's go ahead and change sides. So once again, flexing our foot. We're reaching through, hugging our thigh into the chest. Releasing both legs down. Let's gently rock the knees side to side like a windshield wiper. Go ahead and hug both knees into the chest. And then see if you can reach the outer edge of each foot, coming into happy baby. If this doesn't work, go ahead and use your strap. That can go right over the arches of the feet. If you can reach the foot, let's focus on stacking the heels over the knees and then pulling the knees down towards our mat. And if this is comfortable, maybe you can gently rock from side to side, massaging the spine. Coming back to center, pausing, finding stillness. And then very slowly releasing one leg and then the other, taking both arms overhead for one last full body stretch, making ourselves as long as we possibly can. And then on the next inhale, pull your low back away from your mat. So we're stretching through the abdominal wall. You're pushing the belly up. And then we're exhale, releasing, settling into our mat as we pull our arms into our sides, pulling our shoulder blades down and under, making our way into final relaxation or Shavasana. This is an important part of practice because we're going to seal in all the benefits of everything we've done today. So it is crucial that you're in a comfortable resting position. So if this doesn't work today on your back, maybe you want to move into a side lying position or even seated with maybe the wall behind you for support. So choosing what works best for you. And then clearing the mind, letting go, bringing the awareness back to the breath, and letting our minds and our bodies simply be. Keeping our eyes closed, slowly begin to bring your awareness back. Let's awaken the body by gently wiggling our fingers and our toes. Putting a bend in the knees, let's begin to gently rock the knees from side to side, bringing a little bit of motion back into the body. next time the knees move towards the right, let's go ahead and roll completely onto our side, head and neck resting on our outstretched arm. And then take the palm, place it right in front of the chest, and try pressing yourself up into a seated position. And let's end with a cleansing breath. Keeping the eyes closed if you'd like. We're going to inhale, arms all the way up overhead, reaching tall. Big audible exhale through your mouth. And let's take one last deep breath in. And this time we exhale, hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me and for joining us today with the York County Library. Hopefully you sleep well tonight.